Good morning to all of you. We are going to discuss about spectroscopy. Spectroscopy is that branch of chemistry which deals with the spectra simply, or it is the discussion of interaction of electromagnetic radiations with the chemical substances. That is the spectroscopy. For what purpose it is utilized? In the old times, whenever a new chemical is there, we want to know its chemistry, we want to know its structure, its atomic weight, atomic mass. So for that purpose we use various methods. We need melting point, we must know the boiling point, we must know the nature of the compound, but functional group is present. All this information is based upon the various analysis, and for that purpose we need a huge amount of compound to be discussed either by physical methods or by the chemical methods for the structure elucidation. As there is a development in the side of the chemistry, so side by side many physical method has been developed where no loss of compound takes place, and by simple physical methods, that is why discussing the interaction of radiation with the chemical substances, we can tell the exact structure of the compound. Whatever data we are having, that comes on the paper, and it is a permanent record of the particular compound. In the old times, whenever analysis was done, we need substance, we need how it reacts with the acid, base, some another compound, how it is oxidized, what is the oxidized product, then on all our various chemical reactions we tell about the structure of the compound. But this is not needed in the spectroscopy. Here 1 or 2 gram compound is merely needed, and we record its spectra, and after recording its spectra we are able to tell merely by checking the spectra that what is the compound, what type of it is, what can be its molar mass, that can be set with the help of the mass spectrometry, that can give the exact information regarding the atomic mass of or molecular mass of that particular compound. Even with the help of spectroscopy we can discuss the reaction mechanism. We are able to detect the short-lived intermediates. Example of spectroscopy is there ESR, electron spin resonance spectroscopy, that can tell about even the short-lived free radicals, whether they are formed in the reaction or not formed. That type of short-lived intermediates can be analyzed with the help of the spectroscopy. We are able to tell about the isomerism. For example, tautomerism, keto-enol isomerism is there. We can tell with the help of the infrared spectroscopy whether keto-enol isomerism or tautomerism is there or not. We can also tell about the conformations of the ethanes with the help of the NMR spectroscopy. All cis and trans or EZ isomers, they can be studied with the help of the spectroscopy, but there is no method developed that is able to tell about or separate the enantiomers. Enantiomers cannot be studied with the help of any type of spectroscopy. We can discuss the diastereomers, but enantiomers cannot be discussed. So this type of method, that is a spectroscopy, it is a very important tool which is simple physical method, no chemical reaction involved, and that can tell about the structure of the compound. It is not the single spectroscopy that tells about the structure of the compound. Mostly we need the UV visible, we need the infrared spectroscopy, we need the NMR or nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy and mass spectrometry to tell the structure of the compound. All spectroscopy we discuss, it is a absorption spectroscopy. Absorption means radiation interacts with the substance. Whenever it is interacting with the substance, some of the radiation it is being absorbed and some of the radiation it is being it is coming out, or it is emergent from the substance, or it leaves the substance. Whatever is being absorbed, that is recorded, and that record tells about the structure of the substance. So all spectroscopy we discuss is absorption spectroscopy, leaving mass spectroscopy. In discussion, in your book, in your syllabus, it is three types of the spectroscopy. One is UV visible spectroscopy, another is the infrared spectroscopy, mostly written as FTIR. इंफ्रारेड स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी का ग्राफ बहुत बड़ा होता है, that comes over a long paper. Whenever that is minimized, we say it is Fourier transformed infrared. So that is why it is FTIR, Fourier transformed infrared spectroscopy. That is FTIR. We only discuss today FTIR, not simply IR. Otherwise, IR is just like a, you can say, horoscope, a person very large, that type of spectra is obtained, but whenever that is minimized, it is FTIR. Third one is NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. The first one, UV visible, tells, or it is giving idea about the presence of the double bond and especially conjugations. Dienes and carbonyl compounds can be discussed. Infrared spectroscopy is a very good tool, very important tool to tell about the functional group present, whether alcoholic group is present. Easily you can tell with the help of a signal present at 3400 centimeter inverse. We are easily able to tell about the carbonyl compound if there is a peak obtained at 750 centimeter inverse. We are easily able to tell about the ethers if there is a signal in the range of 1050 centimeter inverse. So there are various wave numbers which are easily tell about the presence of particular group. Even CH3 group can be you can tell about the CH3 group present in the compound with the help of the IR. So IR is a very informative tool that tells about the functional group present in the compound. Third one is very important, NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. It is much effective in counting the number of protons present in the compound. This tells about the number of protons as well as it tells about the different types of protons present in the compound, but means to do with different types, whether CH3 group, whether CH2 group, or whether it is the CH group present, or whether it is the proton related with the benzene, or whether the proton related with the aldehyde, or proton related with the acid. That can be said with the help of the NMR. NMR is a very good tool which tells about the geminal protons, whether the both protons are present on the same carbon atom or whether they are present on the adjacent carbon atom. That can be said with the help of the NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. It gives exact idea about the number of protons present in the compound. So whenever we are discussing the organic compounds, what we are having? Only carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. So when we are having information regarding the C and H, it means maximum information we have obtained from the NMR. Then lastly, it is mass spectrometry that we are not going to discuss. It is not in your syllabus. That gives the exact idea about the you can say mass, molecular mass of the compound. Using electromagnetic spectrum, it comprises of the various rays, cosmic rays at the top by the way of the maximum energy, then gamma rays, then X-rays, then comes the ultraviolet region, then comes the visible region. Below visible region there is a vibrational region or infrared region, then far infrared is there, then microwaves is there, then radio waves are there, and sidewise with the radio waves there is a nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So see here, chemical substances not only interacts with these high energy radiations, which one? Gamma rays and X-rays, which will be able to ionize the compound or break the bond. So we are not going to discuss this part, gamma rays or X-rays, how they are interacting with the chemical substance. What UV and visible region, that are low energy radiations, they interact with the compound and they leave the compound as it is, as well as remaining infrared or IR or these radio waves, they also interact low energy radiation and leave the compound as it is. So with these radiations we discuss the various